Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So I do believe, to be quite honest with you, it's going to take Manchester United at least a couple of years to mount a title challenge up, because we're not that competitive elite level football club as we was under Alex Ferguson, for 20 odd year, and I think it's going to take us at least a couple of years, to get us back to that level, perhaps maybe even longer, and we're at least a couple of years off Manchester City's level, we're at least a couple of years off Liverpool's level, and this is why this summer, we've got to get the right recruitment to Manchester United, because analysing our recruitment policy is extremely very poor. But as we all do know, Manchester United, since Alex Ferguson retired, we have been playing catch up at least for the last 5 or 6 years. Since Ferguson left, we've had different managers with different philosophies. We do know a lot of money has been invested into the club. I think we spent around over 700 odd million pounds or something. But let's be honest, Ole Gunnar Solsjaker is still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team. He's looking to build a squad worthy of the club's history. But as I said, none of this squad is Ole Gunnar Solsjaker, as I said, because he's inheriting 11 of Jose Mourinho's players. There's still some players here from Van Gaal, there's Matt here from the David Moyes era. There's still 4 or 5 players here from the Alex Ferguson era. So let's be honest, none of this squad is Ole Gunnar Solsjaker. And I do know you watch some of this team at this day and age now, grow and develop Ole Gunnar Solsjaker when he managed the Manchester United reserve team. And I still believe, even though we have been in a bad vein of form, and it has seemed to have all gone wrong since he's got the job permanently, we've only won 2 of our last 11 games in all competitions. I still believe Ole Gunnar Solsjaker is the right man that can elevate Manchester United forward, but it is going to take time. Don't get me wrong, some of the blame now is stemming from Ole Gunnar Solsjaker, because his tactics are questionable. He's starting to get his team selections wrong. The majority of the blame is on the players as well, based on our poor run of form and performances. And some of the blame, of course, stems from Ed Woodward. So yeah, we've got to give Ole Gunnar Solsjaker the summer, to spend some money, because we need to rebuild. We've got to be ruthless in this summer transfer window, and reportedly Ole Gunnar Solsjaker is going to get a spending spree of around £250 million. Obviously, as I did say, I agree that we need a structural change at the club, and that's obviously getting a director of footballing. There has been quite a few candidate names mentioned, but I think it will be obviously ideal to recommend someone who knows about the club, someone who of course has got the experience. Obviously good news has come out of the press today that Mike Phelan of course has been appointed the assistant manager on a 3-year contract. He was actually linked with the technical director's role at Manchester United, but I think from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's preference, he'd preferred him as the assistant manager. I don't know who's going to take that director's role. As I said, there's been quite a few names mentioned, but we've got to get a director of football, to change the structure of the club, and obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to need backing this summer. But I know there's some Manchester United fans, demanding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out, but as I did say, we haven't got the structure, to keep sacking managers, and I know he hasn't got the great managerial pedigree to the highest level. He hasn't really got the experience of a manager. Did have it as a player, but hasn't really got it as a manager. But I still believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can take us forward. But talking about, I think it's going to be hard for us, to attract players to the elite level this summer, because obviously we're not in the Champions League for next season. And but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, does still believe, we can attract players to the elite level, even though we're not in a Champions League football for next season. He still believes, we can do that. But I think this is going to be a surprise summer transfer window, and I think that our transfer strategy is going to be surprising, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has made it clear he wants to recommend, quite a few young players, to come to Manchester United. So he's expressed an interest in quite a few young upcoming players, because let's be honest, we have got a lot of aging up players in our squad, but I think Solskjaer wants to bring quite a few young players in. And as I did say, it's not always about getting the superstars. It's not always about getting the well-established players. It's not always about spending big on players. Of course, as Manchester United have got a history on, etc. Lukaku we paid £75 million for. Paul Pogba we paid £89 million for. But maybe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's try to get the right young players to come in, that can grow and develop and emulate into a superstar, of course. And as we do know, there's been a lot of talks today, of course, about Swansea City's Daniel James. Reports were coming out from a lot of media outlets, including Sky Sports, saying that Manchester United are close to agreeing a deal for Swansea City's Daniel James for around £15 million. He is a surprise solution, to be quite honest with you, but that actually, could be one of, I think that's going to be our first signing under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Daniel James is 21 years of age. as I did say, I think he's primarily a winger. I think Daniel James is primarily a winner. He is a cheap acquisition, don't forget. He is a low expectation, but he's attracted interest from quite a few teams as this player, reflecting on his impressive performances this season in the Championship. I think he's played about 30-odd games this season for Swansea City as Daniel James. I think he's only got like a year left on his contract. But yeah, I think Manchester United are on the brink of getting a deal over the line for him. Obviously, he's a Championship player, but saying he's primarily a winger. I think he plays well. I think he's more effective from that left-hand side. Is Daniel James. I think you can put him on the right. I think he can play him as attacking midfield. He's only 21. He's a Welsh international, so he's still got a lot of years ahead of him. So maybe it won't work out. But do you think he would fit the Manchester United agenda? Daniel James. But as I did currently say, Ole Gunnar Solsjaker wants to recommend a winger in. But I think on that left-hand side, we're okay on that left-hand side. I think the left-hand side, that's where the majority of our attack is coming from in this Manchester United squad, and we don't really need to strengthen that left-hand side up. But I think you can rotate Daniel James as a right winger, but he's more effective. Most of his goals come from that left-hand side, and Leeds were actually on the brink of getting him in January for around, was it 8.5 million? But obviously, a deal it didn't materialise because I think Swansea pulled out of the deal right at the final hurdle. So Daniel James didn't make the move to Leeds United. But there's been other teams that have been interested. I think Manchester United have been interested in Daniel James at least for the last couple of months, reflecting on his impressive performances. And £15 million, very, very cheap indeed. And as I did say, maybe we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer. It's not always spending big on one player. It doesn't mean it's going to get you in that commanding position, where you want to be. So yeah, Daniel James, he's been spoken about. I think Swansea paid, was it around £72,000 for him from Hull City, of course, when he was younger. But yeah, there's been a lot of talks about him going on today. And people are now saying, with supposedly Daniel James coming in, Anthony Martial's future, could be in even more serious doubt now. But discarding, the rumours about Daniel James, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has refused to comment on, the speculation, of Daniel James, coming to Manchester United supposedly. Either way, without Daniel James mentioned, obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, was ready. He did say he was ready to sell Anthony Martial. Obviously, he did say Anthony Martial infuriated Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's reflecting on his behaviour and his bad attitude in training. But as I did say, we've got to keep Anthony Martial at the club. And now recent reports are saying that Solskjaer has changed his perspective on it. And now Solskjaer's deciding to keep Anthony Martial at the club. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's willing to give Anthony Martial a year to prove himself. But Anthony Martial's performances have been way below par in the last couple of months, and I still think he's a very, very essential player. He's only 23 years of age. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him, but his performances have been poor in the last couple of months, and he was in really, really good form earlier on in the season. Was Anthony Martial. He was scoring goals, he was providing, but in the last couple of months at least, he has failed to replicate that. And I know he hasn't played in the last couple of games, Anthony Martial, but he's been here 4 seasons now at Manchester United. When we got him as a 19-year-old, he was fantastic in his first season, in his debut season with Manchester United. Manchester United got him in a deal worth around £36 million from Monaco, rising up to 57 or 58 million, based on goals and achievements. So, and I think he was actually, linked to a move away from Manchester United last summer, was Anthony Martial, obviously, of course, when Jose Mourinho was here, because obviously, Jose Mourinho had a bad relationship with Martial, and other players as well. Also, Jose Mourinho had bad disputes with the board. So, Anthony Martial, Jose Mourinho basically wanted to sell Martial last summer, but obviously, Ed Woodward had blocked this from materialising, and this is why Martial is still at Manchester United now, and he signed a new 5-year contract with the club back in January. So, yeah, people now saying with supposedly Daniel James coming in, Martial's future, could be even in more serious doubt. But I don't see Martial leaving. I think Sanchez is definitely going. He's definitely going as Alexis Sanchez in the summer. He's been so inconsistent as a Manchester Manchester United player. And I said when we got him 15, 16 months ago, I thought he would have met expectation levels because I thought he'd have been a fundamental player for us. I thought he'd have scored us the goals, got them assists, and I thought he'd have been a fantastic player. You know, reflecting back, you know, what he did at Arsenal, it was fantastic for Arsenal. You know, he scored goals. I think, as I said, the majority of his goals at Arsenal, I think, came up front. You know, Sanchez is versatile, but when we mainly play him, you know, which is not very often, we do put him on that left-hand side because he has sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player. He is now injured again with an ankle injury, so I don't think he'll be involved against Cardiff. But yeah, he's the highest paid player at the club. He's the highest paid player in the Premier League. And I think his wages are having a bad effect on the club, to be quite honest with you. And a lot of Manchester United fans will tell you that. But I'm being disappointed with Sanchez. You know, he hasn't lived up to expectation levels. When he's played, he just looks so restricted. Just looks as though he hasn't been getting that freedom. And he hasn't really expressed himself, Alexis Sanchez. And when he was younger, of course, when he played under Pep Guardiola. But yeah, I think we're going to get rid of him this summer. Man United may have to, you know, pay half his wages off, you know, to get rid of him, because there won't be many teams out there, if any, that can afford to pay Alexis Sanchez's wages off. So yeah, I think he's definitely on his way out of the club in the summer. Talking about Juan Mata, I'd love Juan Mata, to stay at the club for at least another year, to be quite honest with you. But I don't really see it happening. I think Juan Mata is intending on making the move to Barcelona this summer, because he had, obviously, Spanish is Juan Mata. Of course, he had a lot of experience of playing in Spain when he was younger, with Real Madrid and Valencia. But Juan Mata, as I did say, he's no longer, he doesn't even really get in the team now for Manchester United. He's basically, a squad player. He's Juan Mata. I know he's played in the last couple of games for Manchester United, and he has been impressive. He has been impressive. He has full that number 10 role fantastically well as Juan Mata. And, he's been a great loyal servant in the Premier League. He's been a fantastic servant in the Premier League. This is now his 5th season at United. Manchester United just paid under £40 million for him from Chelsea. He has made over 200 appearances in all competitions. Obviously, when he was younger, he had a good 2.5-3 years with Chelsea. Did Juan Mata, but I think he's on the verge of agreeing a 2-year deal reportedly with Barcelona. And I think when if he goes to Barcelona, obviously Barcelona are not going to see him as a replacement for Messi. He's going to be used as a squad player for Barcelona, because Juan Mata's no longer playing to the highest level. He's 31 years of age, just turned 31 not too long ago. Lost that yard of pace, and yes, I think he wants to return. He wants the return to Spain. There's Juan Mata, but yeah, no longer playing to the highest level. But yeah, being a fantastic servant for Manchester United. I think Man United are willing to offer him a 1-year extension, but I don't think this will materialise. I think he'll end up going when his contract expires in the summer. So yeah, I'd like him to stay for another season, even though he's not going to be obviously first choice because he's a squad player now. But yeah, I've liked what he's done for the club, and I really appreciate what he's done. Romelu Lukaku, I think he's definitely on his way out of the club. I think Lukaku's on his way out of the club, because Lukaku's enjoyed a very difficult second season for Manchester United, and he has been heavily linked with a move to Juventus and Inter Milan as Romelu Lukaku. I think from his own preference, he wants to make the move to Juventus with Romelu Lukaku, as I just said. But as I did say, Manchester United, will be looking to recruit, the initial £75 million they were paid for, or trying to get a bit more than £75 million. Well, we initially paid £75 million, plus £15 million in add-ons, which had risen the deal to £90 million. He's got 3 years left on his contract. He's on about £250,000 a week. But as I did say, we sell the likes of Lukaku, we sell the likes of Pogba. It's going to help us with our transition. It's going to help us with our rebuilding process. The spending spree is £250 million this summer. So if you get £200 million plus for Lukaku and Pogba, that's going to be about what... call it around just over £450 million to spend for the summer. And so it will help us with our transition. But yeah, Lukaku, I think he'll go to Italy, because I think he dreams of playing in the Serie A, as he was talking about. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is set to have talks with Romelu Lukaku. But his agent revealed a while back that his future is very open. But he was good in his first season with United. He scored 27 goals in all competitions. But as I did say, he can perform better. When he's getting that support up front, he can look a bit more effective. But I've got reservations about him. He's too slow. His first touch concerns me. He's static. As I did say, he hasn't got that finishing assets. Don't get me wrong, his pedigree is very good in the Premier League, because he has scored a lot of goals. But he hasn't got the capabilities, of course, to play to the highest level, Romelu Lukaku. So yeah, I think he's probably going to go to Italy in the summer season. Another player that's on his way out. And as I did say, we need a striker, I think, because, since Solskjaer's got the job permanently, we haven't been ruthless enough in front of goal. We're not being scoring enough goals. So we need that quality up front, we need someone that can score goals and stuff. And especially if Lukaku leaves, obviously, we're going to need a striker. I do believe we need new additions in that midfield. I think we need 3 new additions in that midfield. We need someone, to replace Paul Pogba. We need someone to replace Ander Herrera. But good news is coming out of the press, and I might have updated you on this earlier on my previous video in regards to Sporting Lisbon's Bruno Fernandes. As you all do currently know, it has basically been saying that Manchester City are the favourites to land Bruno Fernandes. But now good news coming out saying that Manchester City have actually cooled their interest in Bruno Fernandes, and it did basically say now that Manchester City have opted out of the race for Bruno Fernandes, because it actually said in the media, quite a few days ago, was it, saying that City have been in talks with Sporting Lisbon, over getting Bruno Fernandes in a deal worth around £47 million. It was around £47 million because it did say that City were willing to offer 1 or 2 of their players as part of the deal, and as I did say, City would be a much attractive option, for Bruno Fernandes. But now I think City have actually dropped him out of the race, so this is a transfer booster for Manchester United, because Manchester United have been heavily linked with Bruno Fernandes. As we all know, he's predominantly an attacking midfielder, so Manchester United are going to see Bruno Fernandes as a good replacement for Paul Pogba. And as I did say, we need creativeness in that midfield. We need someone that can pose a goal threat. We need someone that can score goals, that can adjust and provide. And Bruno Fernandes can do this, because he has proven it this season fantastically well with Sporting Lisbon. I think he scored 30 odd goals this season for Sporting Lisbon. I think he's provided about 16 or 17 assists. He's only 24 years of age. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him. His initial buyout, his initial release clause is around £86 million, but I don't think that release clause would have to be triggered, because I think it did say in the Metro he could be available for around £50 million this summer. And I think a player like Bruno Fernandes, I think he'd fit in our midfield very, very well. Obviously he had a lot of experience of playing in Italy, when he was young, with Underneath and San Pandora. So yeah, I think he'd be the right solution, if he was to come in to Manchester United. And ultimately looking at it, City was seeing Bruno Fernandes as a replacement for Fernandinho, but Fernandinho's primarily defensive midfielder. But now City have dropped out of the race, so now Manchester United could be in a driving seat, to land Bruno Fernandes, and he's got a contract with Sporting Lisbon until 2023. I think this is his 2nd season now with Sporting Lisbon. But yeah, we've got a great chance of getting him. So yeah, I think he'd be a good replacement for Paul Pogba. He'd been in them goals that we do need. I think he graduates to that level. I think he's got the ability to elevate Manchester United at least in the next few years, because he's 24. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him. And yeah, so there's been a lot of talks about Bruno Fernandes, and I think Joe Felix is also a candidate name that's been mentioned quite a lot. Man United have been scouting Joe Felix at least in the last couple of months. It's also said Manchester City have expressed their interest in Joe Felix. And Joe Felix, he's Portuguese like Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, Joe Felix is a lot younger than Bruno Fernandes. Joe Felix is 19 years of age. Of course, it's only Joe Felix's first season in the senior squad with Benfica. I think Joe Felix's buyout clause is around £100 million. So yeah, there has been a lot of talks about him. I don't think he's yet made his senior debut for Portugal, but again, he can score goals, he can provide. I think he's attracted interest from a number of clubs as Joe Felix. I think Liverpool have been interesting, but I think again he's primarily an attacking midfielder, but he can play as a winner. He can also play as a striker. So yeah, I think he'd fit. In the mix well if he came to Manchester United. But I think City have been interested in Joe Felix. But yeah, there has been a lot of talks about him. But Man United have been scouting him, for a number of months, for quite a few months now, reflecting on his impressive performances this season. But yeah, we need 3 new additions in that midfield. And as I did say, with Paul Pogba, I think he's definitely, going to Real Madrid this summer, is Paul Pogba. Obviously, he's told Manchester United teammates he's intended on leaving the club. As we all know, his agent Raiola, of course, has been given a 3-month transfer ban by the Italian FA. Obviously, so this means basically, that it didn't provide a reason why he's been given this 3-month transfer ban, but it just basically means that he can't conduct any transfers in Italy for 3 months, his agent Raiola. But that's not going to affect him making his dream move to Real Madrid. As we all do currently know, Manchester United want around £160 million for Paul Pogba, and some Manchester United fans think he's worth around £160 million. Real Madrid, I don't think, can afford to pay £160 million, and this is why Real Madrid are refusing to pay up to £160 million for Paul Pogba. But I really, really like Paul Pogba, but maybe at Manchester United he's not playing amongst world-class players. Maybe a player of Paul Pogba's calibre, wants to be playing to the highest level, wants to be up there challenging, wants to be up there winning trophies, and as I did say, Manchester United are at least a couple of years off doing that. And as I did say, we could still get at least 120 or 130 million pounds for Pogba. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has spoken to Paul Pogba, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer still believes he will be at Manchester United next season. You can take nothing for granted, but Solskjaer still believes he'll be at Manchester United next season. But he's built a great relationship up with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But most recent reports have said that their relationship is starting to slowly fade away. It's Paul Pogba's and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's relationship. Obviously, Paul Pogba was heavily linked with a move away from Manchester United last year, based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho. Paul Pogba's, he was linked with his former club Juventus. He was linked with a move to Barcelona. But Paul Pogba's still got over 2 years left on his deal. Well, he's got 3 years left on his deal. So you'd say he's under contract till 2022. But Paul Pogba's agent Raiola, at least in the last couple of weeks, has been in the process, finding Paul Pogba a new club. But Paul Pogba's intending on leaving the club. Obviously, Paul Pogba, was talking a lot about Real Madrid, a while back, and that just indicates he wants to make the move to Madrid. He wants to leave Manchester United this summer. And Zinedine Zidane is a big admirer of him, and obviously it's one of Zinedine Zidane's main priority targets. Zinedine Zidane has identified his two main targets, and that's obviously Paul Pogba and Chelsea's Eden Hazard. But yeah, as I did currently say, it's looking like Paul Pogba's on his way out of the club. We do know he's on about £290,000 a week. Reports were coming out saying that Real Madrid were not willing to match his £290,000 a week wages. So it did say Paul Pogba would reportedly have to take a pay cut. But yeah, I think he's still going to be going to Real Madrid. So yeah, I think we need 3 new additions in that midfield. We need a replacement for Ander Herrera. As I did say, Matic for me, he's not one of the favourites to leave in the summer, but I want him to leave in the summer. Not reliable enough, age, too slow. I've got strong reservations about him. Totally ineffective in that midfield. Don't get me wrong, in some of his games, the Nemanja Matic has demonstrated, that he can play well. He is well Premier League proven. Don't forget, Manchester United, paid £40 million for him from Chelsea. But as I did say, I've got strong reservations about him, and I think we need a CDM, that's fast and tenacious, of course. And the Nemanja Matic isn't that at all. So yeah, I think we need definitely, need a centre defensive midfielder, and there has been a number of midfielders, I mentioned as I just updated John, Bruno Fernandes and Joe Felix. There's been talks of West Ham's Declan Rice, and I really, really like Declan Rice, and I think he's a really, really good player, and he's primarily a defensive midfielder. Again, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has expressed his interest in him. It's one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets. Declan Rice is only 20 years of age. He's only 20 years of age. He is British. I think he's been with West Ham now definitely a couple of seasons. Well, he's been at West Ham a number of years, but he's been in the senior squad with them a couple of seasons now. Declan Rice can break up the play. He's an energetic midfielder. His performances this season have been absolutely fantastic, with under Manuel Pellegrini. So I think he'd fit the Manchester United agenda very, very well if he was to come in. And he could be available for around £50 million this summer. So he's been a potential Manchester United target. I think he can play as a centre back, but I think he's primarily a defensive midfielder, and he's under contract with West Ham until 2024. And I think Declan Rice signed this new long-term contract in December of last year. So yeah, Manchester United have been linked with him. Obviously, Everton's Idrissa Gueye, there has been talks about him in the last couple of weeks as well. And Idrissa Gueye is a Senegal international. He's 29 years of age. He's actually the same age as Ander Herrera, is Idrissa Gueye. But combining them together, you can see obviously Ander Herrera's had better of the career than Idrissa Gueye. But Idrissa Gueye, if Everton are willing to sell him this summer, he could be available for a reasonable figure this summer. Could Idrissa Gueye, he could be available for just under £30 million. But the good thing about Idrissa Gueye is he's highly experienced. I think he is a defensive midfielder. He can break up the play very, very well. He's good at pressing opponents. He's an energetic midfielder, is Idrissa Gueye, and he has proven this in his number of years with Everton. And potentially, as I did say, yeah, you can break up the play, can tackle well, can Idrissa Gueye. I think he got his contract renewed in February of last year with Everton, so he is under contract with Everton. he is under contract with Everton now until 2022. I think this is now his 3rd season with Everton, going into his 4th season with Everton. But yeah, obviously the majority of his Premier League appearances have obviously become at Everton. Before he was at Everton, I think he did spend 1 season with Aston Villa. I think before Villa, when he was younger, obviously he was in France with Lille. Was he in France with Lille? Our Lille a French team. But yeah, he was with Lille when he was younger, Idrissa Gueye. But yeah, there has been a lot of talks about him. Obviously, would emphasise him as a replacement for Ander Herrera. And I think Everton paid around just over £7 million for him from Aston Villa. They triggered a release clause in his contract and got him for just over £7 million. So yeah, he can score goals as well, and he looks a pretty decent candidate. So also he's been mentioned. So there's been quite a few midfielders mentioned. Solsjaker Transfer, he was spoken about quite a few weeks back. He's been on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's agenda. So yeah, there's been quite a few midfielders that Manchester United have been linked with. As we all do know, Manchester United want to get a central defender in, and we've definitely got to get a central defender. And I think we need an experienced central defender, to come in. And I think we need a world-class central defender, because we haven't had one since we had the likes of Vidic and Ferdinand at Manchester United. We haven't had a world-class central defender since we had the likes of Vidic and Ferdinand. As I said, because back under the Alex Ferguson era, Ferdinand Vidic, a fantastic centre-back partnership. But for me, we need someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line, because obviously the likes of Jones isn't good enough. Jones for me needs to go in the summer. It was bad business for Manchester United, giving Phil Jones that new long-term contract. Very, very bad business, and he's been here about 7-8 years now at Manchester United. And as I did say, comparing Jones and Smalling, don't get me wrong, Smalling's a much better defender than Phil Jones, but I think it was still a bad mistake for Manchester United, giving Chris Smalling a new long-term contract. And Chris Smalling, I think this is now Chris Smalling's 9th season at the club. I know Jones and Smalling have both won everything here domestically, but comparing Smalling and Jones, I think Smalling is definitely better. So this is why I said I'd drop Jones for this remaining game against Cardiff and put Smalling into contention, because mainly anyway, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been going with Smalling and Lindelof as centre-back partnership. Rotated it a couple of times, but it's mainly been Smalling and Lindelof. But for me, we need someone, that can go alongside Victor Lindelof. And there has been quite a few central defenders mentioned. And, more things was updated about Ajax's De Ligt. And I think now reports are saying that a report was supposedly Barcelona and Ajax have agreed a £60 million deal for De Ligt. So it did say now Barcelona have agreed a deal for De Ligt for around £60 million. But reportedly, obviously, De Ligt's agent is obviously, Raiola. Reportedly now Raiola has delayed De Ligt's move to Barcelona, because reportedly, what did it say now? Reportedly, Raiola is demanding that, I think he wants about 20% of the cut of the £60 million deal. So this is why De Ligt's move has been delayed to Barcelona, because Raiola wants 20% of the cut of the £60 million deal reportedly. But I think De Ligt's likely to leave Ajax this summer. I think De Ligt's likely to leave Ajax this summer, because according to Edwin van der Sar, of course, who was the CEO of Ajax, he believes that De Ligt will either make the move to England, or he'll make the move to Spain. So it's probably likely that De Ligt will be playing his trade next season in either England or Spain. And I think he could still make the move to England, could De Ligt, but I think he could actually be joining Barcelona, because obviously Barcelona have already got Frankie de Jong. It's obviously De Ligt's teammate. Barcelona agreed a £75 million deal for Frankie de Jong, obviously last summer, but it's a year in advance. So obviously Frankie de Jong's going to be a Barcelona player in the new season. But yeah, I think they could still get a deal over the line, for De Ligt, because Barcelona, Liverpool have been interested in, Manchester United have been linked to him. Recent reports did say he turned down Manchester United did De Ligt. I think he's supposed to be valued at around 60-70 odd million. He's supposed to be valued at around 70 or 80 million, as it did say in the Metro. But it did say anyway, Barcelona have agreed, supposedly agreed around a £60 million deal. But his agent Raiola has delayed, De Ligt moving to Barcelona, because he wants 20% cut of the £60 million deal, does his agent Raiola. But as I did say, De Ligt is only very, very young, only 19 years of age. Obviously, he's spent the entirety of his career so far with Ajax. He's been an Ajax player since he was a child. Joined Ajax's youth academy at the age of 9. Did De Ligt. I think he's been in the senior squad, a number of years now then, but I think he actually, became more of a first team starter, did delay, when obviously, Davinson Sanchez, got sanctioned off to Tottenham. But yeah, he's the captain of Ajax. I think he's the only defender, to win the Golden Boy award. So yeah, Manchester United have been linked with him. Other central defenders, we do know there's been a lot of talks about Harry Maguire from Leicester. Now, he's an experienced central defender, of course, well Premier League proven, Harry Maguire. He's been at Leicester a couple of seasons now. He's obviously made 100 appearances in the Premier League. Manchester United may be willing to break the world transfer record this summer on a central defender. I don't think we're intending on doing it on Harry Maguire, even though recent reports have been reflecting out saying that he's previously been valued at around 70 or 80 million pounds as Harry Maguire. Manchester United were linked to Harry Maguire last summer, but obviously we couldn't come to an agreement to get Harry Maguire last summer, because obviously the board weren't backing Jose Mourinho's signings last summer, and obviously last summer we wanted to get a centre back, and that was our priority to get a centre back, but obviously we didn't get one, and we didn't get as priority targets last summer. But Harry Maguire, he's done good for Leicester. He was talking about before, about him playing to the highest level, graduating to that elite level, and he's obviously, maybe a player of Harry Maguire wants to be up there competing and challenging, and obviously he's not going to experience this with Leicester, and he signed a new long-term contract last summer, so he is under contract with Leicester until 2023. I think he did sign a new 5-year deal, Harry Maguire. But yeah, he's obviously former Wigan player. I think he was on loan with Wigan. He's a former Sheffield United player where he began his youth career, and I think he played for the Hull for about 2 or 3 years. Did Harry Maguire. So yeah, Manchester United have been heavily linked to him. He's also tall as well, which is very very beneficial. Can latch onto set pieces very very well, and I think his defensive abilities are very very impressive. So yeah, the club have been linked with him. We do know Raphael Varane. I don't think we're willing to break the transfer record for Raphael Varane, because obviously, I think that's, as I said, the only chance of us getting Raphael Varane, would be part of a swap. It would be part of the deal with Paul Pogba. And I don't think Real Madrid, want to lose Raphael Varane anywhere, because Real Madrid know how much of a central player he is to them. But yeah, as I did say, Raphael Varane, has been fantastic. He's spent the majority of his career in Spain, with Real Madrid. I think he's been at Real Madrid about 8 years now. He's won 15, 16 major honours. He's 25. He's not even in his prime yet. I think your prime's around 25 or 26 years of age. So I think he's nearly 26, is he? He's 25 now at the moment, I think. And it's incredible what he's achieved as a 25-year-old Raphael Varane. But yeah, I think his initial release clause is around 400 odd million in his deal with Real Madrid. But discarding the release clause, discarding him being part as a dealer with, Paul Pogba, is still going to cost you over 100 odd million pounds, is Raphael Varane. But don't get me wrong, I really, really like him. I think if he did come to the Premier League, he would produce and deliver the same element of the performances, that he has been doing in his number of years with Real Madrid. And I think he's still got a contract with Real Madrid until 2022 as Raphael Varane. But he's been a potential Manchester United target. We do know there's been a lot of talks about Koulibaly from Napoli. But yeah, if we had any chance of getting him, obviously, we're going to have to pay him a world record fee for the Koulibaly. We're going to have to, fork out at least 100 or 110 million. Don't get me wrong, we've got the financial power to meet that valuation. He's 27, he's nearly 28, he's highly experienced, but a lot of people, would say that's a waste of money, because he is much cheaper alternatives out there, etc. Toby Alderweireld, central defender, well Premier League proven, available for £25 million this summer, and I think, to be quite honest with you, he'd be a good upgrade in our defence with Toby Alderweireld. So yeah, he could possibly come in, and he's a much cheaper alternative to the likes of the Koulibalys and the Raphael Varanes and the Harry Maguires. Probably not on the same level, but he's still available for a reasonable figure. He's age 30 now. Don't get me wrong, I have got strong reservations about Toby Alderweireld, but as I did say, he's well Premier League proven. He knows about the Premier League, and Manchester United have been linked to him. So yeah, he's been spoken about. So there's a lot of central defenders on Manchester United's agenda. As I did say, we're going to need a right back. We need a replacement for Antonio Valencia, of course. Obviously, we know Valencia is definitely leaving the club in the summer when his contract expires, because obviously Man United had the decision, to extend his contract to buy I think, was it a further year? But obviously, Man United opted against that decision, so he's going to leave the club this summer when his contract expires. But don't get me wrong, he's been here a decade. He's been a good loyal servant to the club. He's been out for the majority of this season with a calf injury as Antonio Valencia. I think he's now back in training. and as I did say in the Man United Cardiff preview, you know, he could be involved in this final game against Cardiff. So we've got to give him a farewell appearance. You know, we've got to give Antonio Valencia a send off because he's won everything he domestically. You know, he won the Cement Multiplayer of the Year award. You know, back in 2012, did Valencia. So yeah, I think we've got to get a replacement for him. You know, we've got to get an upgrade to Ashley Young, because I think Ashley Young, I want him to leave in the summer, but I don't think he'll be added on to that list, you know, with the potential players that are supposed to be leaving this summer. I think Ashley will probably stay until his 1 year extension expires. And I think it was bad business for Manchester United, you know, giving Ashley Young that new 1 year extension. Very, very bad business indeed. And I think he needs to be dropped for the Cardiff game. He definitely needs to be dropped for the Cardiff game. He shouldn't have been playing against Huddersfield, but I don't know why Ashley Young, you know, keeps getting selected. He's a full-back at the age of 33. He's crap. He's past his sell-by date. He's nearly 34, and by the time this 1 year extension expires, he'll be nearly 35 years of age. And Young's been here 8 years, or he's 7 or 8 years. Reflecting back when he was young, he was a fantastic winner with Ashley Young, but now he's past his sell-by date. So we need an upgrade to Young. I know we've got Diego Dalot there. You know, Diego Dalot is the upcoming future. You know, but as I said, I still believe we need a cover-up for the Diego Dalot. But yeah, there's going to be quite a few players leaving. I should presume, you know, Damien's definitely on his way out the club. We could cash in for Damien as well, possibly. We could get maybe 8 or 10 million for Damien. You know, Rojo, we could cash in for Rojo as well. We could get actually, you know, around 25, 30 million pounds, you know, for Damien and Rojo. So I think, you know, Rojo needs to leave the club in the summer. So yeah, we are expected, you know, to orchestrate a big summer clear out. You know, it could be surprising this summer. You know, we might only get 3 or 4 players in. We might only get, you know, we might only see 3 or 4 players leave. But I think our transfer strategy is going to be surprising this summer. I think it's going to be different, and I think quite a few young players are going to get recommended to come in, because I think this is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is keen on. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and as I know as well, you know, it doesn't mean it's going to get you the success, you know, getting you know, the players you want, you know, getting, you know, as I said earlier on the video, it doesn't mean, you know, getting the players, you know, to, you know, them Galactico players. It doesn't mean it's going to get you to the level, you know, where you want to be. You know, as I did say, it doesn't always mean, you know, them superstars. It doesn't always mean, you know, getting them superstars in. You know, it doesn't always mean getting them superstars in. It's going to get you to that level. You know, it doesn't always mean that, you know. So this is why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer showed an interest in quite a few young players. But we've got a history, you know, of getting, you know, them superstars, you know, paying big money for players. We've got the history of doing that. So maybe we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer, because we do know that there is quite a few players out there available for the reasonable figure, as we all currently know, and we could maybe get 3 players for just over £100 million. You know, you've got the likes of Jadon Sancho. He's one player that's going to cost you at least £100 million. I know he's a very, very good player, and he's only 19 years of age, and he's very, very young, but he's going to cost you at least £100 million. Look at, you know, Daniel James. He's going to cost you £15 million. So there's a big difference there. Obviously nowhere near as good, but still he's going to be a much cheaper alternative. But as I did say, yeah, so against Cardiff, as I did say, Manchester United should win. You know, we've got to play the youngsters against Cardiff anyway, because it's a meaningless game. You know, we're not in the top, we've missed out on top 4. We're not in Champions League football for next season, so it's a meaningless game. Drop the problematic players, you know, give the youngsters the opportunity. You know, Cardiff are relegated, so this is a game anyway. You know, Manchester United should win. But yeah, we've got to give the youngsters a chance, because we're not going to get many opportunities like this, you know, playing a team like Cardiff on the final game of a season where you're not playing for anything. You know, so we've got to give the youngsters the opportunity, and see what Solskjaer can do in the summer. You know, see who he can bring in. You know, we've got to be ruthless in this summer transfer window, because obviously we've got to get the right recruitment, because obviously analysing our recruitment policy is very, very poor. And you know, as I did say, I gave him my press conference, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference reaction earlier on. You know, I did catch up with some things he said. He refused to comment on the, you know, the speculation about Daniel James supposedly coming to Old Trafford. He was mentioning about the, you know, the technical director will stick with the same structure until, you know, the right man comes in, you know, to fulfil that director's role. And what else did he say? He said a few other things as well, did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And he said quite a few interesting stuff in his press conference. I think he also said he has been having meetings and that, you know, we might feel, you know, discussing our recruitment for this summer. But yeah, we'll see what happens. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider a subscriber, as always, and take care, God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching, guys.